Hello my dear viewers, welcome back to a new tutorial on how to draft a back bodice pattern. This pattern is going to have two darts, one at the waist and the other one at the shoulder. As usual, these are the materials that we need. We have the scissors, we have the ruler, pencil, rubber, tape measure, as well as the pattern paper. Again, because of the position of the framing, I'm going to start my drawing at the center, but otherwise you can start yours at the sides. First, let us take the measurements. It's a back bodice and these are the measurements. And here I'm drawing a figure just to show you where the measurements are. And to remind you, our measurements are going to end up at the waist. Now we are going to start to number them as they are. So for the full length, you are going to measure from the shoulder to the waist. That is number 1. Number 2, we have the center back length. The center back length, you're going to start from the nape. This one, like it said, it is at the center. You're going to start at the nape of the neck to the waist. That is your number 2. Okay. Number 3, it's a bust measurement. Remember this, we also measured on our front, but here we are measuring the whole length all around. That will be our number 3. And for the waist also, you are measuring all around. That is our number 4. Okay. Number 5, the shoulder, across shoulder. Across shoulder, you are measuring it from the shoulder tip to the other shoulder tip. Remember, this is a measurement that we took for the front, so you have it. Okay, you are measuring the full length, but we are going to use only half of it. Shoulder slope, like we did with our front. You are starting from the tip of your shoulder to the center. Okay, and that is your number 6. And this here is 5, the shoulder, across shoulder. Then the shoulder length. The shoulder length, starting from the base of your neck to the tip of your shoulder. That is your shoulder length. That is number 7. Then moving on to number 8, that is the back strap. We are going to start from the base of the neck to the underarm. Okay, from the base of your neck to underarm. That is number 8. Number 9, now you're going to start from the underarm here up to the waist. That is your number 9 as your side length. And then we are coming to the back width. Like the chest distance, this is almost mid of the arm. Okay, but at the back. Now for this, we are measuring all the way at the back. Okay, that is your number 10. The dart placement, as you remember, it is from your center to where you want your dart to be, and I've used the same distance as that one from the back. Okay, so that is a distance from the center to here, so I've used the same as the front. That is our number 11. And then we are coming to the neckline. Remember, I told you when we were finishing that you measure the distance of A1. This is the distance that we have used for our back. Now let us start. This is our starting point. Label it as A. And on this line, we are going to measure the full length, back full length, which is 44.5. Put a mark and label it as B. Then take your ruler and draw a perpendicular line going outwards. Then from A going outwards, we are going to measure half of the across shoulder measurement, which is 19. Put a mark and then take your ruler and draw a perpendicular line going downwards. Then from B, measure center back length towards A. Our length is 42. Put a mark, label it as D, and draw a perpendicular line going outwards. From B going outwards, we are measuring the bust measurement. Measure quarter of our bust measurement plus 2 centimeters for ease. And the total was 25.3. Put a mark and label it as E. Then draw a perpendicular line as shown. Again, from point B we measure waist measurement, quarter of the waist measurement plus 4 centimeters of dart and 0.5 centimeters of ease. I got 22 centimeters, put a mark and label it as F. Again, from B, measure the dart placement measurement. I'm using the same measurement as I've used at the front, that is 9.5 centimeters. From the center, put a mark and label it as G. Then from G, measure the amount of the dart. Remember we added 4 centimeters for dart. Put a mark and label that point as H. Okay, now let us move to the neckline. Measure from A to I distance, which we have measured from the front, which is 7 centimeters. Put a mark and draw a perpendicular line going downwards. Then from B to this line coming from C, we are going to measure shoulder slope measurement. Put a mark and then take your ruler and draw a straight line from point B to this new point that you've just marked. Now from point I, we are going to measure shoulder length measurement towards the line coming from C as shown. We added 1 centimeter for a dart. Then you put a mark and take your ruler and draw a straight line. That is point K, and then measure half of the shoulder length. It was 13.9, half of it is 6.9. Put a mark and label it as L. Using this shoulder line, place the ruler at 90 degrees angle and draw a line and mark that point as M. From I, we are going to measure back strap measurement, touching this line from E. The measurement was 28.5. Put a mark and then take a ruler and draw a straight line connecting these 2 points. And this point here is point N. Then from N, draw a perpendicular line from N touching the center back line. And label the point here as O. Now from O, we have to measure a distance which will be equal to distance from B to the center of the waist dart. So first we are going to find the center of this dart. So we already have half of the dart measurement. Now measure from B to this point here, that is P, half of the dart measurement. It is 11.5. And so we are going to measure from O going outwards 11.5 centimeters. Put your mark as Q, then connect Q and P with a broken line. Connect the dart legs to point Q on either side and elongate these dart legs by 0.5 centimeters. So the new G and H points are going to be below the waistline. Now from point N towards F, I'm going to measure side length. Mine is 21 centimeters, but it is slightly below the F point. So first connect these 2 points and then measure from F the excess amount. Here I have 0.5 centimeters. So I'm going to end up at F, but I'm going to add the excess amount above from point N. So on top of point N, measure 0.5 centimeters or any amount that you have. Put a mark and move your point N. So our point N has moved to this position. It might also happen that your side length measurement ends above point F. Then it means you move your point N downwards, making sure your F is at the waistline. Then draw a broken line from half point of shoulder dart to midpoint Q. Then measure from the shoulder 7 centimeters, that is our point R. And then measure on either side of this line here 0.5 centimeters. Remember our dart is 1 centimeters. Label points as S and T. Connect point S and point R with a straight line, a line which is slightly above point S. Now from S, measure 0.5 centimeters. Put a mark as new point S. Then measure this line from the new point S to R. Measure the same distance on the other side of the dart leg. Draw a straight line, and remember also on this side we are going to have a new point for point S. So our new points are slightly above the original ones. Now measure a distance from D to O, and here I got 22 centimeters. Now measure 1/3 of that distance from O, that is 7.3. Put a mark and label it as point U. Then draw a line as shown, and here we are going to measure back width measurement with 1 centimeters of ease. Put a mark, that is point V. Draw a perpendicular line from point V, and now finish by drawing the arm side as well as the neckline. For arm side, connect point K, point V, and point N. You can use your curved ruler, or you can draw it freely by hand. Similarly, draw a curve for a neckline. And now finish by drawing the curves at the waist. Remember our dart's legs are slightly below the waistline. For shoulder darts, draw straight lines. And we are done. Here is our pattern, the back bodice pattern with 2 darts, the shoulder dart as well as the waist dart. So now we are going to cut our pattern. Please remember to use paper scissors. And now our next step is to make a sample using these patterns to see if they need any modification. So here is our back bodice pattern with 2 darts at the shoulder and waist. Thank you so very much for watching.